Welcome to my professional book presentation. The book that I chose to read for this is called Sammy and His Behavior Problems, Stories and Strategies from a Teacher's Year by Caltha Crow. Caltha Crow was actually a very experienced teacher, and then she ended up getting a little boy named Sammy in her classroom, which she had never had a little boy, or a student for that matter, that was ever like that exhibited those specific behaviors. So the book is written like a narrative. It's a story, and it just goes through from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and she's just talking about what she does with him, and I really like it because she'll talk about the strategies she used, and then she would write, she had a journal entry about it, and it just talks about their successes and their struggles throughout the year. The reason why I chose this book is because Caltha Crow, she's actually a responsive classroom teacher, and responsive classroom is something near and dear to my heart because we actually practice it at my school, and it's an expectation of all teachers to use a responsive classroom approach in their classroom. And so that's why I was interested in reading this book, to help me learn some more things to implement and to use with my kiddos. And I actually, the past few years in my room, I've had my own Sammy, and so while I was reading this, I really made some big connections with her because I remember feeling the same way she felt during some parts. So it was a really good read, and by the end I was tearing up because it was really awesome. I would suggest it to anyone to read that's struggling or just need some inspiration, to learn new things, because it's always good to have more tools in your back pocket. So, and now I'm just going to explain to you the things that I implemented and the things that I learned while I read this book.
One of the reasons why I chose this book was because it is a book available under the Responsive Classroom website. This is the philosophy that is practiced at my school. I actually recognize the author from the Responsive Classroom videos. She is a traveling responsive classroom teacher, teaching educators about this philosophy that the social aspect of school is just as important as the academic piece. I highly suggest any educator do their research on responsive classroom and all the positive effects it can have on students and on teachers. There are many strategies that Dr. Crow used in her classroom that I use in my classroom as well. But one of the areas I wanted to dive deeper into would be the teacher language piece. Responsive Classroom describes teacher language in 3 categories, which are redirecting language, reinforcing language, and reminding language, also known as the 3 R's. Our language as teachers is very impactful. These examples of teacher language help me remember to keep it simple, direct, respectful, specific, all while having a growth mindset. Here, I have provided some examples of phrases or sentence starters to use with students. These have helped me tremendously with my language. It helped me break the habit of saying "I like the way" to "I noticed" or "I see." It also helped me realize to recognize students' efforts in their work. Dr. Crow did an amazing job using this language with Sammy, and I have noticed a change in myself and in my students as I focus on my language with them. It's quite cute hearing your 5-year-old students use this language with each other. Another strategy and structure I read about and use now in my classroom has to do with problem solving with students. Dr. Crow used this with Sammy and one of his classmates when they had a conflict. She asked one of her students to come over and talk to her and Sammy. She asked the little girl to repeat the problem she had shared during morning meeting to Dr. Crow. She then told Sammy to listen carefully because he was going to have to repeat what his classmate said. I have tried this in my classroom. It shows how sometimes problems can be misinterpreted by the person who is hearing them. Having them repeat what their partner says helps them understand what the true conflict may be. Something else I noticed in the book was that Dr. Crow had many one-on-one meetings with Sammy, especially during lunch. This was their time to be able to meet and discuss what had been going on in class or what had been bothering Sammy. Dr. Crow always made sure to refer back to their class rules and to ask Sammy, "What rule do you think will help you remember to?" And then he would tell her the rule that would help him best. This has helped me because now I refer back to our class rules constantly. We recite them every morning before we start learning. Practicing this has helped with my students' self-reflection. This book also helped remind me that it's all about relationships. Kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Thanks for tuning into my presentation. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you enjoyed it.